Louis was born January 11th, 2017 at 5:28 in the morning. You know, he was only 2 pounds, 5.4 ounces, right?
Yep.
And she said, put your hand next to him and take a picture. This is the smallest he's ever going to be. And I was afraid to open up my hand all the way because I was afraid it was going to be bigger than him. But I was asking like every nurse, what, or some of the side effects of being born premature, and they were got a whole bunch of different answers.
But I just remember the doctor coming in saying, things took a turn for worse. You should probably come over and hold him. And the doctor also said, if you want to have him baptized, now would be the time to do it. So we both said, yeah. We just prayed for the best. At that point, that's all we could do, put our trust in the doctors and God.
And as time went on, he just kept pushing and kept fighting. Next day he was still kicking, and the next day he was still going, and the next day, and
literally we counted down the seconds, the minutes and the seconds, and it was like, okay, 5 minutes passed, that's 5 minutes longer, he's still with us and he's still fighting. 10 minutes, 30 minutes.
And that was the point where we give him the choice to take him off care, because that was going to start affecting everything, that his heart was going to shut down, his brain was going to tell him to stop breathing, to his heart to stop pumping, and what we wanted to do from there. And we both came up with the conclusion that we were going to let him decide. But once again, he just kept going. He never came to that, and he just kept pushing.
And I think it was that next morning where I was able to hold like kangaroo skin to skin for the first time. I remember I just held him for 3 hours like that, and all the doctors were so surprised because he actually started doing better, and he was more calm, and his heart rate slowed down. And from there we finally were starting to think things were looking up. And then this was around the 2-week mark. We got pulled into a meeting, and that's when they explained to us Louis had the brain bleeds and then developed the hydrocephalus. The doctors kind of gave us a really grim outlook, he might not ever walk, he might not ever talk, he might not ever crawl, he might not ever smile, he might not ever know who his parents are.
That was when he had his first brain surgery. And
I remember we called Russell's parents and my parents into a meeting, and it was the 6 of us out in the NICU waiting room, and we were just what do we do? And that's when we came to the conclusion that the doctors don't know everything, that there might be a chance everything will be okay. We don't know what will happen, and we just can't give up on our baby. And that's when we decided, Louis is gonna call all the shots. I'll never forget when he came out of that surgery. We saw him no tapes or wires on his face, and he actually smiled. And so he was trached at the 3-month mark, and it took a solid 3.5 months to finally get him to a point where he was stable enough and tolerated the home ventilator that we could finally, after 202 days, be discharged to Good Shepherd.
When Lewy arrived at Good Shepherd, he was about 6.5 months old. We had known about Lewy for quite a while and were working back and forth with the NICU team to prepare for him and also to make sure we were prepared for him. Our goals initially at admission for Lewy were very much in terms of getting him stronger, tolerating, handling, positioning, and normal developmental movements, all with the goal of being able to wean his ventilator support, but also to progress as closely as possible to age-appropriate developmental milestones.
He was the worst bronchopulmonary dysplasia baby that we've had, which is a condition from premature lungs. Anytime we would work with Lewy, his oxygen levels went down. So we really had to work quickly, thoroughly with him, trying to get him to the point where he could get past all those things.
I'd say within a couple weeks we were really starting to notice a difference with him, where he just started becoming bigger and stronger, and one day it would be like, hey, he can do this now, and the next day like, hey, he's doing this now. And
every little thing then he started, we would start laughing at, and it was just really looking better from that point on.
within our 4-month stay at Good Shepherd, he made tremendous leaps and bounds, and for that I'm forever grateful.
You know, we have a lot to thank the therapists and the doctors and stuff for that at Good Shepherd, and you know, you really did good coming out.
Lewy was discharged from Good Shepherd December 11, 2017, which is actually exactly 11 months from the time he was born. So walking through the doors to home for the first time was extremely overwhelming and happy. All we wanted to do was get our baby home. And our goal, you know, was eventually to become ventilator free. It's crazy looking back from the NICU to Good Shepherd, and now even from being home, how far he's come.
Lewy, he definitely taught us the value of life and the will to survive. He's definitely a fighter, and I actually learned a lot from him, and I actually look up to him for that. Because I think if I would have given up everything he's been through,